Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Wednesday morning, a number of Rains County residents who live east of the city of Emory were evacuated from their homes following a gas leak in their area, according to John Ch.18, Rains County Environmental Officer and Emergency Management Coordinator. Ch.18 said no residents were injured. However, a Rains County deputy was transported to the hospital after he inhaled the gas fumes. Ch.18 stated the gas company had quickly responded to make repairs and residents were allowed to return to their homes Wednesday afternoon. The Garland Bomb Squad was called to the Saltillo area to assist Hopkins County Sheriff deputies and investigators when 4 items that looked like homemade explosive devices were found in a storage building seldom used by the family that was inventorying the contents and cleaning the building. Sheriff Lewis Tatum stated that the investigation continues in the matter.
Yes, sir. We had a family contact us that they was going through some property that belonged to them they hadn't been in a while, because one of their family members had been there in custody here, and they found some devices inside the shop. They weren't too secure about, wasn't sure what they were, and they contacted us, and we a couple of our sergeants went out there and looked at them, and they both were military veterans, and they said it didn't look right to them either. Contacted Garland Bomb Squad. One of them come out, and the same thing. They didn't think the devices looked right, so they came out with their bomb squad, their truck, and they X-rayed them, and they couldn't find any explosives or anything in them at the time. So we cleared the area, and they made sure everybody was safe, which we do appreciate. I'm glad that we've got somebody that close can come and help us. So that at this time. We're going to do further investigation and see exactly what we had.
Unsure as to who might have placed them there or made them?
Correct. We've got a pretty good idea. We don't have any idea. We don't know right now how we're going to tie them to it till the investigation's over.
Were these attached to anything?
No, I don't believe they were just inside the shop in different places.
In different places?
Yeah.
Like they might have used them on that shop or something?
Could be. Have them separate, have them in there put in different places. We just don't know what the intentions were at this time.
From what your 2 sergeants saw, from what Garland Bomb Squad saw, did they think this was something that was placed so that it would be, if it were shaken or if it were stepped on, how would it have been initiated?
Well, but it's got electrical wires run to it, so it probably had to be set off with a battery, okay. Some type of a charge, if that's indeed what it was. So we're just at this time we're going to try to determine exactly what was going on. But the place is clear now, and we got no problems.
Seems to be well beyond a high school science project.
Probably so.
Using the Garland Bomb Squad, is this the first time you've called them out?
The first time we've used that I've been around when they came out, we've contacted some of the military bases around before and used their bomb squads when we found something, and they would destroy it on site. But it seemed like we made a pretty good relationship with those guys last night, and they gave us their contacts, and we shared ours with them, and they said they'd be more than willing to help us at any time. And they're not very far, so I guess this is a real good thing. We've got another good contact in the area.
This is not something that your department needs to develop as far as a part of what you do?
Well, as long as we've got somebody that close that can help us. Of course, if we could take any kind of new jobs, new training, be more welcome to have them, but you're talking a lot of money to have some, that kind of equipment. And I don't think we could afford them right now without some type of a huge grant. So if they're right here and they'll come and help us, and that's what we'll do. We might have some guys trained, if we can later on, in just detecting these things or how to help us out locally, but we're going to have somebody with a lot of equipment come in and help us.
Do we pay them to come in?
No. They're I'm sure they're funded through different ways, like we are, like with our computer deal. We have to help other agencies, is how we've got our equipment, so same there, I'm sure. But it's just, we're very blessed that you can call anywhere around here and they'll come and help us, and we'll do the same for them.
The freezer purchased for use by Hopkins County Jail will save the county thousands of dollars, according to Sheriff Lewis Tatum. It will provide storage for meat and vegetables produced by local inmates for meals at the jail.
We're putting in a new freezer out here in front of the Sally Port. That's where we hope for it to go. It looks like all plans, that's where it'll be. It's 19 feet long and 10 feet wide. Commissioners and the county judge is right on board to help us, and we're going to put it right out here in front of the Sally Port where it'll be easy access to the kitchen, and so we'll have somewhere to store our vegetables and our meat.
Earlier you had been talking about the garden having saved the county a lot of money. Is this added expense going to negate that, or is it going to pay for itself eventually?
It has already paid for itself by far. If you put it in dollars for the amount of meat and stuff we put in the kitchen back here, we could have paid for that freezer twice over. But the commissioners are helping us pay for this out of some funds we have, I think, in reserve from what we built the jail. But this will be something where we can store this stuff, where we've been having to sell it on the square in different places, and a lot of this stuff we give out to outside agencies, these smaller counties, that stuff that we had to give it to them was going to spoil, and we will store a lot more stuff for a longer period of time. We may not be able to this year because we've done, the season's about go with, but next year we'll hopefully store enough stuff in there to last us through the winter, quite a few months of the winter.
That was my next question. This is going to enable you then to extend that savings from just spring and summer into fall and winter as well.
And that's what we hope. So, we're all brand new into this, and, I've spoken to a lot of people, and, nobody's ever really tried all this before, but, somebody's got to, so we might well be the ones. Let's just see how it works.
An operation of freezing that many vegetables and so forth, are you going to continue using inmates to do this work?
Yes. Yeah, they do all this. This is their farm. This is everything is theirs. This ain't coming out of no taxpayer dollars. The freezer, of course, but the help building the freezer, but all the meat, produce, and everything, that is all from the trustees.
The county's not really equipped to do home canning, are you?
No, we got a commercial vacuum sealer back there that we purchased for this, and it seems to be doing a great job. We've already packaged a bunch of stuff, but the amount of meat that we can stack in this freezer will really go a long ways, I do believe. Grocery Supply has been gracious. We got a bunch of chickens froze out there. They're out there getting them today, and they've been really good to us and helping us out. So they got a huge freezer, of course, and but this will make it so much easier. It's right here. We don't have to spend the time and the manpower having to go retrieve it from somewhere else and be a burden on them. So we're trying to be more self-sufficient. Well, our whole game plan here is to be more self-sufficient, and it gives the trustees it seems like it gives them a sense of responsibility, and they're proud of themselves and what they're doing. And some skills, some job skills. I had a lot of them tell us, well, we've never done anything like this before. And I said, well, neither have I. I said, but we can all learn. And then you can use this when you get out, maybe as a job skill.
County commissioners dipped into funds secured but not used for building the new jail facility to assist in purchasing the freezer.
This September, the popular quilt show is going to be joined by the first ever Brick Street Vintage Market through downtown Sulphur Springs. It will be spread over a several block walking area. There you'll find vintage, antique, repurposed, and artisan items, products, and treasures. If you're a vendor or a business, you can get a booth to display your wares. Let's find out more from Dana and from Billy Ruth of Downtown Business Alliance.
As you probably remember, Enola, since I've been here every year for you to interview me.
You have.
This is our 18th year, which is really pretty phenomenal for a town our size to not have a break over that period of time and consistently have a show every year for 18 years. And of course, now we're in the Rock. And as everybody knows, this is only a block from downtown, which I think was a really good move for us. It was the first time that our quilt show stood alone, because all the rest of the time it was a part of the Fall Festival. But this way, it allows us to feed our people into the downtown area. And this year, I've made up sheets that will have a listing and the address of every specialty shop down there, as well as every restaurant. So we will be giving these out to every person as they leave. Now, something we've even talked about, because I realize we have some ladies who would not be able to walk even the block. We've talked about the possibility of asking the city for their golf cart that we've used when we have our tour with John Sellers. And that way we could have some transportation for those ladies who would have difficulty getting down. But it's a show that we always feature one donation quilt. We just have one a year because we're a nonprofit organization. Okay. So we sell tickets for raffling, I guess you would say, for the donation quilt, and they cost $5 for 6 tickets, or if you just buy one, it'd be $1. So these will be on sale, and that means they'll be available until the tickets are drawn, which will be on Saturday. We close at 3, so they'll probably do it about 2.
Okay. So the annual quilt show in Sulphur Springs at the Rock will be for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, the 15th
Friday
and 16th.
and Saturday.
One thing that I think is so wonderful that ties this in is that from the Rock, if you look sort of to the north, you'll be able to see the beginning edges of the vintage Brick Street Vintage Market. I know I'm not saying that correctly.
Oh, it's
Dana.
great. It's going to be so wonderful. It's going to be vintage and on Brick Street. So.
And so even if they don't hear about, they can see it and they'll be attracted and drawn down there.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, marriage of this.
Yeah, it really is. I think the fact that we may now, for the first time, be coordinated with an event that will be taking place downtown that would attract our people who would be going to the quilt show.
Yeah.
And now ours is, as you said, Friday and Saturday. Friday would be from 9 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 3.
And it is affordable. Anybody can afford to get in.
$5.
Okay.
$5.
And you said this quilt will be featured. However, there are how many to be hung?
We'll have at least 140.
You'll see lots of quilts for your $5.
Right. And we should let people know, we can make an assumption sometimes about quilt shows because we go all the time. But these are quilts from anywhere, everywhere, because this is on the website, and that's Sulphur Springs Texas Quilts.com. So you can look up all the information about the show and the fact that we have special speakers. We have a children's section. There are door prizes. I mean, all kinds of things, plus vendors down there.
Yeah, and you can buy quilt fabric and all kinds of other little things.
Yes, the vendors, they've got all that stuff.
Okay. So we're marking this on our calendar, September 15th and 16th. There's another reason that Friday ties in, Dana, and that's for all of us who are Wildcat fans.
Oh, yes. Homecoming for the high school and all the joining schools and all the people around to come back home to celebrate.
Well, this is like a triple y'all have hit with this, with your plans for that weekend, middle weekend of September. So besides your move of your business downtown, your involvement with Downtown Business Alliance is also part of the market.
Yes, yes. Very excited about that. Those gals and guys down there are really, really trying. There's members all over town. You do not have to be a downtown merchant to be a member. It's all about our town. And, of course, we want the revitalization to the heartbeat of the city, which is downtown at the square.
And it's a celebration.
And
Anytime we
something
go.
else that they may not know, people think you have to have a business. When I joined DBA, I didn't have a business. So I joined because I had first moved back here, and I just wanted to be able to help with the activities and whatever we could dream up at the time. And so a lot of people, and that's another thing when you mentioned, they don't have to have their business right downtown. People don't realize that.
Let's go into the getting a vendor booth. Are there still spaces available?
Yes, they are filling up, but there are spaces. It's a 10 by 10 space, and they're $25. Multiple spaces next to each other would be great. I've taken 2. I'm going to have my vintage quilts and my Buffalo Girl shirts down there. Vendors are coming from all over around this area. Judy and the other members have been out trying to get more vendors and let people know our community. So,
Yeah, Judy Hallman, who is owner of Gourmet Kitchen and Company, is president of DBA this year.
Yes.
And she's really pushed this forward. One of those little turquoise blue cards, people may see these or the posters
Yes.
around town with the darling artwork. Another member of DBA
Yes.
designed that.
He's done a great job, Mike did. He has the Rooster Roast Cafe Bar and Art Gallery, and that's going to be one of the information centers to pick up information about the vintage market. And Plain and Fancy will also be another vintage location for information.
I think that Joy Wilson over at Flippin' Printing did the printing of the
Yes.
darling little posters and information cards.
She did.
When you see those around town, look at, there's a lot of information on there.
Lot.
But just mentally mark the 16th, Saturday the 16th.
Yes, from 8 to 6.
Okay.
Yes, and there is Wi-Fi for vendors. All the vendors who's asked, there is Wi-Fi connection, so it'll be a great day to shop.
It needs to be in the areas of vintage, antique. Some of those descriptions I think are on that card.
Yes, anything repurposed furniture, old jewelry, anything that has a look of vintage, but also there will be some specialty limited spaces for other items too.
It's Sulphur Springs' first vintage market.
Yes.
I mean, for the public, kind of a public event. Looking so forward to it.
Well, I'm thinking too, since we're bringing a history of 18 years, and I think, for instance, we're having a 10-foot banner made that's advertising both of our events that will be hung between the light posts that face the water splash thing. So that'll be up there. That's something we can look forward to every year from now on. All we have to do is just change our dates, but now we've got a happening to connect to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did want to mention, these will be in the windows of every business who contributed to our awards.
Award sponsor of the Lone Star Heritage Quilt Guild Quilt Show. And of course, this year, September 15th and 16th at the Rock in Sulphur Springs.
And they will be able to pick up tickets for the quilt if they want to there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the couple of minutes we have left, what else do we need to know about the weekend, middle of September?
I also have tickets for the quilt at my shop for sale.
Yes.
Your shop is now at
438 Gilmer Street. It's the old florist location I bought in 2004. It all looks like worn out and loved, like it's been there forever. So come in. We have all kinds of, have lots of antique quilts. They start at $25 and up. They're all worn and loved. And candles and a little bit of specialty jewelry. And of course, our flowers are our specialty in the back. My same crew came with me, so it's all great. We'd love for you to stop by and see us.
It is called Dana's Southern Charm.
Yes.
And
the
didn't know
florist.
that.
Mhm. Great boutique shopping, so come by and see us. We're open Monday through Saturday till 5.
Where you see that huge buffalo is where to pull
Oh,
in.
yes.
Is that thing as heavy as it looks?
Not really.
Okay.
Just big. No place to hold on to.
And it is so visible as you come right up
Yes.
that lovely drive of Gilmer Street headed
Yes.
south.
He is beautiful.
How did you happen about that?
I just love buffaloes and what they stand for. They've been around forever. They were good with everything.
But you found one, though.
Oh, Clint found that for me, yes.
Did he?
And then the guy brought it and delivered it, and then had a young man here in town put it together, the rocks and everything. So it looks like it's been there forever. It was just made for it.
We've got a lot going for us in Sulphur Springs, and we're going to celebrate that as we celebrate all the time downtown, but celebrate that on September 15th and 16th with our events, and of course people coming home for homecoming that night
Yes.
too. And so if you want a vendor booth, you better get one because you're going to have lots of shoppers by.
Yes.
Who would they contact?
They can come by my place and pick up an application and go by Judy's, which is on Main Street, Judy's Gourmet Kitchen, or Dana's in the Florist on Gilmer Street.
Okay.
And give me a call at any time, and I will leave some applications here for you all if they wanted to. That's
Wonderful.
okay.
And you can usually find Billy Ruth just around downtown somewhere. You have loved downtown since you got back here.
Absolutely, yeah. Charter member day one for DBA, Downtown Business Alliance. To me, I came back and I just thought, I want to be a part of whatever we need to do to improve downtown. And I think we've been the background of everything that's happened down there.
We have come a long way downtown, and who would have ever known the beautiful direction that we have now ended up in?
Exactly.
So thank you for all your direction and input and support.
Thank you very much.
And you too, Dana, for coming back
thank you.
in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
Thank
coming
you.
back.
And
Yes.
how many years have you been at Canton?
27.
Oh my.
Gosh.
So we can find you on Facebook, Canton, First Monday, and at your shop, 438 Gilmer.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you both again, and we're going to see that beautiful quilt another time when you bring it in September.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, too.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
Lady Cats volleyball coach Justin Manus said the Lady Cats Tuesday night road win at McKinney North was one that would make the Lady Cats a better team. He said it was a character builder because the Lady Cats defeated a tough team in a pretty tough environment. Coach Manus said the win would give the Lady Cats more confidence. He said the Lady Cats are starting to do things that he wants to see, adding that they're starting to compete consistently throughout a match. Coach Manus said that the Lady Cats know their schedule is not easy this year, but he said they have accepted the challenge. Coach Manus said he was very impressed with the play Tuesday of outside hitters Maddie Vickery and Abby Bayer. He said Vickery made some key plays when the Lady Cats needed them, and he commented that Bayer provided a hammer at the net when it was needed. Coach Manus also added the Lady Cats supplied defense when it was needed. He said all of the Lady Cats contributed in their own way. Bayer, Vickery, and Kaylee Jefferson all had 8 kills in the 3-1 win. Autumn Tanton added 5. Setter Lexi Wisenhunt had 25 assists. Jefferson had a team-leading 22 digs. Libero, Andon Hammock had 15 digs, and Amani Taylor and Wisenhunt had 12 digs each. Coach Manus called the win the best one of the year so far. The Lady Cats, now 5-4 for the season, will now play in a Wills Point tournament this Friday and Saturday. The Wildcats team tennis squad opened the season in Tyler Tuesday with a 17-1 loss to host John Tyler and an 18-0 loss to Jacksonville. The mixed doubles team of junior Chase Crouch and sophomore Heather Harris got a win for the Wildcats. Wildcats tennis coach Tony Martinez said Crouch, a 2-year veteran, and Harris, with 1 year of varsity tennis under her belt, were really confident on the court Tuesday. Coach Martinez said the boys' doubles team of Alex Benitez and Jonah Kirkpatrick came close to victory. Despite those lopsided scores, Coach Martinez said all of his players from the top seeds to lower seeds competed and fought for every point all day long, even when they were way behind. The Wildcats also had to play shorthanded Tuesday, having only 6 boys and 6 girls players instead of a full team of 7 each. Coach Martinez said a 7th boy and girl would be joining the team when school starts next week. He said he expects his team to be very competitive once district play begins on September 5th. Coach Martinez also mentioned that the tennis complex will be the site of the district tournament this spring. He said all of the district's coaches voted to bring the district tournament here.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.